Hello, brothers and sisters. Brother Trey here again today with another Bible study. Today out of Genesis chapter 26. Let's read it, shall we? And it reads, "And there was a famine in the land, besides the first famine that was in the days of Abraham. And Isaac went unto Abimelech, king of the Philistines, unto Gerar. And the Lord appeared unto him and said, Go not down into Egypt. Dwell in the land which I shall tell thee of. Sojourn in this land, and I will be with thee, and will bless thee. For unto thee and unto thy seed I will give all these countries, and I will perform the oath which I swore unto Abraham thy father. And I will make thy seed to multiply as the stars of heaven, and will give unto thy seed all these countries, and in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed. Because that Abraham obeyed my voice, and kept my charge, my commandments, and my statutes, and my laws. And Isaac dwelt in Gerar. And the men of the place asked him of his wife, and he said, She is my sister. For he feared to say that she is my wife, lest, said he, the men of the place should kill me for Rebekah, because she was fair to look upon. And it came to pass, when he had been there a long time, that Abimelech, king of the Philistines, looked out at a window, and saw, and behold, Isaac was sporting with Rebekah his wife. And Abimelech called Isaac, and said, Behold, of a surety she is thy wife. And saidst thou, She is my sister? And Isaac said unto him, Because I said, Lest I die for her. And Abimelech said, What is this thou hast done unto us? One of the people might lightly have lain with thy wife, and thou shouldest have brought guiltiness upon us. And Abimelech charged all his people, saying, He that touches this man or his wife shall surely be put to death. Then Isaac sowed in that land, and received in the same year 100-fold, and the Lord blessed him. And the man waxed great, and went forward, and grew until he became very great. For he had possessions of flocks, and possessions of herds, and great store of servants, and the Philistines envied him. For all the wells which his father's servants had digged in the days of Abraham his father, the Philistines had stopped them, and filled them with earth. And Abimelech said unto Isaac, Go from us, for thou art much mightier than we. And Isaac departed thence, and pitched his tent in the valley of Gerar, and dwelt there. And Isaac digged again the wells of water, which they had digged in the days of Abraham his father. For the Philistines had stopped them after the death of Abraham, and he called their names after the names by which his father had called them. And Isaac's servants digged in the valley, and found there a well of springing water. And the herdmen of Gerar did strive with Isaac's herdmen, saying, The water is ours. And he called the name of the well Esek, because they strove with him. And they digged another well, and strove for that also, and he called the name of it Sitnah. And he removed from thence, and digged another well, and from that they strove not, and he called the name of it Rehoboth. And he said, For now the Lord hath made room for us, and we shall be fruitful in the land. And he went up from thence to Beersheba. And the Lord appeared unto him the same night, and said, I am the God of Abraham thy father. Fear not, for I am with thee, and will bless thee, and will multiply thy seed for my servant Abraham's sake. And he built an altar there, and called upon the name of the Lord, and pitched his tent there, and there Isaac's servants dug a well. Then Abimelech went to him from Gerar, and Ahuzath, one of his friends, and Philcol, the chief captain of his armies. And Isaac said unto them, Wherefore come ye to me, seeing ye hate me, and have sent me away from you? And they said, We saw certainly that the Lord was with thee. And he said, Let there be now an oath betwixt us, even betwixt us and thee, and let us make a covenant with thee, that thou wilt do us no hurt, as we have not touched thee, and as we have done unto thee nothing but good, and have sent thee away in peace. Thou art now the blessed of the Lord. And he made them a feast, and they did eat and drink. And they rose up betimes in the morning, and swore one to another. And Isaac sent them away, and they departed from him in peace. And it came to pass the same day that Isaac's servants came and told him concerning the well which they had digged, and said unto him, We have found water. And he called it Sheba. Therefore the name of the city is Beersheba unto this day. And Esau was 40 years old when he took wife Judith, the daughter of Beeri the Hittite, and Bashemath, the daughter of Elon the Hittite, which was a grief of mine unto Isaac and to Rebekah. Now let's go over that. So there was a famine in the land, besides the famine in the land of the days of Abraham. And Isaac, the son of Abraham, went up to Gerar, where Abimelech. So we remember Abimelech on what happened there when same situation. So same situation happened here, almost the same. So the Lord told him to go not into Egypt. So he went to the land where he told him. So he sojourned in the land. So he was in the land of Philistines of Gerar. The Lord said he was going to make that seed to multiply as stars of heaven, give it unto I'll see all these countries in the seed. So the Lord is telling Isaac to go to these new lands. To a new land. He said he was going to give these lands to him and to his seed. And he said he was going to multiply his seed, and thy seed shall all the earth, and in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed. So the same kind of blessing he had told Abraham. So in his seed, all the nations of the earth will be blessed. He says, because Abraham blessed and kept my charge, my commandments, my statutes, my laws. So Isaac dwelt in Gerar, where Abimelech was. So again, for some reason, they're intimidated by Abimelech and the people of Gerar for the Philistines, maybe because they all believe they're unbelievers, Philistines, or being heathens or something that's a little bit intimidating. And they don't think, well, Abraham didn't think there was a fear of the Lord in the land, so I'm guessing this is the same situation with Isaac and his wife Rebekah. So again, he says, for fear of my life, I'm going to say that Rebekah is my sister. But then, what happens? Now, the Lord didn't come to Abimelech this time, but through experience with his father, Abimelech also saw with his own eyes that Isaac was sporting, or I guess you would say flirting, I suppose, or playing with Rebekah as a couple would. So he called Isaac, and he said, "Surely she is your wife." So no wool was pulled over Abimelech's eyes this time. So he clearly knew it's clearly evident that they were husband and wife. So the Lord made sure he saw it this time, so it didn't go much further than that, and then much worse come to pass. So then he told him why he did it, and the same reason, because he's afraid he's going to die on her behalf, because they wanted her. So again, Abimelech charged all the people, don't touch this man or his wife, or they'll be to death. And then Isaac sowed in the land, received in the same year 100 fold, so the Lord blessed it, and the man waxed great and went forward until he came to very great. He possessed many flocks, possessions of herds, great stores of servants, and the Philistines envied him. They were jealous of because Isaac was being blessed, the work of his hands, he was waxing great, becoming wealthy, just like his father. Same blessing that was on him on his father is on him. So he's gaining wealth and growing his, I would say his nation or kingdom at this point. So the Philistines clearly saw it and they were jealous. They envied him because he was dressed great. So Abimelech at this point said, go from us, for thou art much mightier than we. So there's a great many servants, many cattle, much wealth. So he's like, you're become a great man, probably for fear that he would overtake them. He sent them away. So again, he pitched in the tent in the valley of Gerar. So he went into the valley, not in the city of Gerar, but he went in the valley. Redigged the wells of the water that his father had dug up at his time. Called them by the same names. And servants digged in the valley and found a well of springing water there. And then they strove with, they were contending with the herdsmen of Gerar. The water is ours, fighting over it, arguing over it, and they called the name of Esek. They digged another well, strove for that one. Also, they fought over that one also as well. They digged another well for that they strove not. So the next one, verse 22 says they dug another well, but they didn't fight over it. They called the name of it Rehoboth. And he called it that, for now has made room for us. So he dug a well. So he wasn't fighting for this well. So he was declaring with this one, because he was all Rehoboth. He said, for the Lord hath now made room for us, and we shall be fruitful in the land. So he was declaring that because of what he called, we call it Rehoboth. Then he went from to Beersheba. He appeared to him and saying, not the God of Abraham. The Lord said he will be with him. The Lord appeared unto him, and he said, I fear not, for I will be with you. Will be with you, bless you, multiply your seed for his father's sake, for Abraham's sake. So he built an altar there, called the name of the Lord, pitched his tent there, and Isaac's servants dug a well. So he made an altar. So I'm guessing he made a sacrifice. It doesn't say it, but not quite yet. Then Abimelech came back to Isaac this time, and went to him and who's one of his and a couple of one of his friends and Phil, the chief captain in the army. And he's asking, why are you coming to me? Because you hate me and have sent me away from you. And then he said, certainly the Lord was with you. And he said, let there be now an oath between us and between us, even between us and thee, and let us make a covenant with thee, that thou wilt do us no hurt as we have touched thee, and we have done unto thee nothing but good. They made a feast and they didn't drink. And they rose up in the morning and departed, and they departed from him in peace. So, and then that came to pass the same day. So the servants dug another well. They found water, called it Sheba. And then it talks about Esau, how he was 40 years old when he took a wife. Judith, the daughter of Beeri the Hittite, and Bashemath, the daughter of Elon Hittite. So he took two wives, which is Judith and Bashemath, the daughter of Elon, which were a grief of mine. So Esau knew that they were, the Ishmaelites were a grief unto Isaac. So, or whatever, I think Canaanites or whatever. But he said they were a grief unto him. So they didn't want Isaac to take a wife from there, but Esau did anyway, out of spite, because he was angry because of what was it? Esau was 40 years old. So we're still talking about one second. Well, I guess Esau took was 40. I don't know why I said that at this point. Esau took a wife from a land that they didn't want him to. Later they say that why. But anyway, continuing on where we're at. So here we are. Isaac is going back over. I know I'm repeating myself. I don't want to keep doing that, but Anyway, there's a famine in the land. Lord told Isaac to move to a different land. He obeyed, of course. Went to Gerar where Abimelech was. Same situation that happened with Sarah. He said she was his sister, but then clearly he saw them flirting with each other. So he clearly knew that they were husband and wife. So he sowed in the land. He waxed great, became so great. So his wealth became so great that he was too enlarged. He had too many servants and too many cattle. So they sent him away for space, and they began digging wells, digging the valley, and then they started having problems with the herdmen of Gerar to strive for, or they fought against Isaac's herdmen. So the water is ours. They fought over that, dug another well, fought over that, and then they dug another well, called it Rehoboth. And he said, "For now the Lord has made room for us, so we shall be fruitful in the land." And then the Lord appeared to him, and then he said, "I will be with you." Then Abimelech showed back up, so I'm going to continue right there. Abimelech showed up with one of his friends and the captain of his army, made a covenant, just like he did with his father, and because he was growing, he could clearly see the favor of the Lord upon Isaac, because how great he was becoming, how great his nation or his people group was, how great his community was, his nation was, how big it was becoming. So he made a covenant so they would do them no hurt to the people of Gerar. And they did have a feast. Rose up in the morning and they left. So the favor of Abraham, the blessings of Abraham was on Isaac. So he would get his community, his family kept growing and growing and growing, adding servants and livestock and wealth, and Abimelech. It was clearly seen by others, even unbelievers, such as like Abimelech and the Philistines, had seen it, that he was waxing great. They sent him away for fear, I guess, for jealousy, and then eventually they said, "Well, since we're becoming so great, why don't we make a covenant, a treaty or peace deal with them, saying that we won't do each other hurt." So he agreed, and they went away. So clearly the Lord was with Isaac in this, and for simple blessing of the obedience of his father, Isaac was blessed. And the same thing with us. When we are obedient, our children are blessed as well. When they're living with us, they're going to be blessed for simply being connected to us, being under the same name. Before our children can be blessed also. And especially if we teach them to be obedient unto the Lord. They have to walk with it themselves, but we teach them the way they should go. And when they grow older, should not depart from it. But he was being obedient to the voice of the Lord, because the Lord was speaking to him and appearing to him. So clearly he had a connection and a relationship with the Lord. And he too had an obedient heart with serving the Lord and to going where he wanted, or going where the Lord wanted. And then, and clearly the blessing, the favor of the Lord was on him, so even unbelievers could see it. And then they wanted a part of it. They wanted, so you can't do us any hurt, and we want to make a covenant with you. But he also saw that the favor of the Lord on him. And a lot of times when the favor of the Lord was on somebody, that when anybody who was connected to that person that was obedient to the Lord, they too were blessed. So that's why Isaac was blessed, because he was connected, because he was his father's son. And clearly beforehand, when the situation with Sarah, Abimelech was blessed, and his wives and his handmaids weren't barren anymore, and gave birth to children, or bare children. And then clearly Abimelech could see, because he had seen it through Abraham, his father, but he probably didn't know who Isaac wasn't born then, so he didn't know who Isaac was. He didn't know that Abraham was his father. So, he didn't know Isaac personally. He never seen him before, never met him before. But at this point, because of his father, he knew that when the favor of the Lord was on somebody. So he could see it, and that's why he knew he had to make that covenant. He had to make that connection with Isaac, a servant of the Lord. And because the favor of the Lord was on him, he had to make that connection. He had to make that covenant and that peace deal, so that he too could be blessed, and he knew it. So think about, like, when we're connected with somebody, like, we're not just this. I mean, there might even be people that are connected, try to get connected. If you're obedient to the Lord, people might be try to connect themselves to you for the simple blessing of the Lord, because they're connected to you. And they might, just try to be like, I guess, maybe in a spiritual leech. So it's kind of like, you got to watch who's in your inner circle, if it's only just for their benefit, and stuff like that. So you definitely got to watch out for that. Pray about it. Be discerning about people's true intentions and why they want to be connected with you. That's something I'm still kind of new to ministry type of thing, so I'm just following as the Lord, obeying the Lord as He leads. But it's something I got to learn later on in my ministry, in my life, that I have to learn. Be cautious, be discerning about who I connect myself with, because they might just be in it to get on the inner circle, maybe to get some inside information to destroy me, or they could just be like doing it for the benefit of themselves. But I just have to let the Lord take care of that. The Lord's the one fights for me. His Spirit allows me to discern the spiritual things. So I hope this blessed you today. I mean, it's clearly kind of the same thing like we did with Abraham and Sarah but it's the blessing of the Father. The blessing of the Father blesses the Son, and blesses also the same blessing of Abraham, the favor of the Lord upon Abraham, and passed down to his son. So anybody who was connected to him was blessed. So Abimelech had to make sure that he was connected to that person. So people may seek you out, like Abimelech went out and found him, went out to seek him out with two other people, a chief of his army and his friend. They had to make sure they made that connection. So people may be seeking you out. Like I'm talking to myself there. The Lord often does that too, especially when I'm doing Bible studies during the Word, because He's been doing that a lot lately. I see people will be seeking you out. So I would wait for that day. So if anybody wants to make that type of connection, feel free to send me a message. All right. So be blessed in Jesus' name.